Friends and Board Service and Repair. Welcome back to the shop. We got engineers that hate us again. John Deere XUV 560. Customer states, it runs great at full throttle, but at low throttle, it barely runs. And it sputters a little bit. Well, I confirmed that. And the problem is definitely not what I expected it to be. I did a little digging, and I popped our dipstick out just a little bit to let it, or just while the engine was running, smoothed it right out. We got a blocked crankcase vent. That's not the thing that I'm talking about with engineers. So that's a Briggs Vanguard. I got to get to that. I got to get the carburetor off to get to the PCV vent. John Deere made it so that I have to remove the seat belts, then remove the bolts underneath the seat belts. There's two of them, one here and one here, that hold onto the backrest. Same thing on both sides, just to get that off. Oh, and then I might have to remove some more of this to get to that. If you know what's good for you, don't get an XUV 500 series. They're a pain to service. I just called the customer and he gave me the green light to actually do all that disassembly, to remove all that to get to the engine. He said, well, we might as well do it right because I like that rig and I want to keep it running. Yes, sir. So here we go. So we have 1 bolt, 2 bolt, 3 bolts on both sides to remove the structural support of the backrest. All to do this. All to remove the airbox. Now I get to this part, which is removing this heat shield and then finally getting to the PCV. For Frog Snacks, this is over engineered. Like, it's one thing to build something well, it's another thing to build something stupid. This is built stupid. Like, it's a good machine. It's a robustly built in the ways of like frame and transmission and engine. The Vanguard leaves a little bit to be desired, but it could be worse. But to service the thing? Come on. That's just ridiculous. You don't need this much for it. You don't need that robust a back rack when you got the back of the bed box also supporting your back. You need just but 1 bar across the back to hold on to the cushion. Engineers, man, they're ridiculous. I can't forget about the 2 side pieces that that cover up the gas tank and the battery. all that for the backrest. Okay, well, after a red torrent of foul language and other accoutrements, we are finally at our target. So this is where the Vanguard is located, buried in this UTV, and that little trapezoidal shaped guy right there is the breather assembly. That is what is causing this engine to sputter at idle. It almost acts like the carburetor is lean at an idle, and it's not. In this case, if the engine runs great at full throttle and slightly above idle, then that's more than likely going to be your issue. at least with these rigs. If you got a Vanguard, I would start there. And the best way to do that, or best way to check this out, is have it running at an idle and just pull the dipstick out to there. You're not going to get any oil splashback because it's still buried down in there enough, and that dipstick tube is pretty long, and you won't, like I said, you won't have to worry about it. The engine will run smooth when the dipstick is out if you're having an issue with the PCV vent. So definitely something to look into. Hopefully this helps you guys out. I got the new vent on the way for this guy, and we're gonna leave that guy on for right now just to prevent any dust, dirt, and schmutz from getting inside the engine. And in the meantime, I see. The reason why I'm looking at this is because I want to see how that cable system works on this guy, so I can put it on where are you? Put it on my Gator, since I put the Vanguard engine on my Gator. I'm actually gonna go look that up right now, because what I want to do is I want to replace that governor linkage, or basically the throttle linkage that attaches to the governor, so I can just put that little loopy jobber into my Vanguard. So in the meantime, that's what I got. Maybe I'll bring you back once I have it all put back together and show you what that is. I got that new vent will be here tomorrow, so we'll bring it back in 2 seconds, which will actually be at about 24 hours. Anyway, let's catch you soon. We'll go back to day 2 on recording for this Gator. So here's our culprit. This is the breather for this Vanguard engine. So what I anticipate is that there's just a bunch of soot buildup in here. This is clearly the factory breather on this one. So it's got over 1,600 hours on it. So it's served well. And it's definitely something for you to consider if you're clean your cameras. I just never learned. If your Vanguard ever has issues with sputtering at an idle like that, if you're looking for the part number, this is part number, that's backwards, 808984, and that's a full breather assembly. That comes with new trapezoid gasket, the actual breather itself, and a new O-ring that goes around the little surmounting bolt. So that's what she looked like, all brand new. So right underneath that bolt there, if you'd focus. Anyway, right underneath that bolt is the O-ring, and then there's the trapezoidal shape rubber gasket as well. So we are going to fire this engine up and see how it runs at an idle. And if it runs nicely, it's time to button this beast back up. Which that could take anywhere between an hour to 2 hours. We shall see. Bring it back once we're all back together. Well, all buttoned back up. Now to take her for a test drive, make sure everything works proper, and it's oil change time. Boy, is this lift handy. Have to adjust the snot out of it to get the catwalks the right length, but let's tend the oil on this guy. Out with the old oil. And that's a wrap. 6 hours of labor, all for a PCV valve. Well, friends, that wraps up this one. Time to reset the lift to accommodate this golf cart. Put a new throttle cable on it. More machines on the way. Thanks for watching, y'all. We'll catch you in the next one.